pull my partner on, and step and turn. It's a basic step turn. So you do one on the left, one on the right, and you keep going. So I'll go right-handed stance, hands up, draw them on, kazushi pull, and turn it. Okay, there I go. Left stance. I'm left-handed now, nice and relaxed. Got my grip, pull my partner on, and turning it. Okay, so I want you to do that repetitively for about 2 minutes. Okay, off you go. Isaac, you can keep going. So I've got Isaac with my dog's body. So he will carry on. So he's going to be a right-handed player. He's going to pull his partner on. He's going to turn in. Then he's going to be a left-handed player. So he goes into his left shizantai and turning in. So it's that basic step. I say step. It's not actually a step. He should already have his attacking side forward. So he assumes his attacking side is forward and he turns in. Okay. So there. So if he assumes he's a right-handed player there, pulls his partner on and spins into position. Stepping into position. Try and keep yourself going. I'll see what I can see now. I don't know what else I can see. Oh, I can see a few people there in the living rooms. Okay. Oh, I've done a bit of error spotting now. Okay, Mati. Okay, just stop there a sec. Okay. Just a bit of error spotting. I'm trying to improve your judo in like 10 seconds. See, a lot of people, when they're doing this basic turning. So think about your attacking side. So me as a right-handed player, usually I've got my right leg forward. So obviously, if you're watching now and you're a left-handed player, you could visualize it the other way here. Left leg forward. Okay? Now, when you turn in, I pull my partner onto me. It's really important when I turn in, I don't do what I call a Michael Jackson, which is this. This with this leg. This leg really does need some weight on it. Okay, so a lot of people I've just seen now, just flick through. A lot of you are there, brilliant. You pull them on, brilliant. You turn in, brilliant. But then here, you do a bit of a Michael Jackson, bit of a dance. It's really important that this leg has a bit more meat on it and has a bit more weight on it. Okay, much better to be more like 50-50 with the way your weight is. Maybe a little bit more weight on your, what you might call your standing leg. So for me, it'd be my left leg, okay? But not like this. So just do a few more. But this time, when you turn in, try and make sure your legs are nice and bendy, but there's a bit more weight on both legs, not just weight on one leg, doing a twisty. Now, hopefully that makes some sense. Okay, so if I'm left-handed here, I'll pull them in, spin here, but can you see the legs are bendy, but strong. Okay, you should be able to pick somebody up with that. Okay, have another go. Let's go. I'll put Isaac in. Go on, Isaac. You'll see when Isaac turns in, it's got a good weight distribution, nice and pliable. Because it might not be Tai-otoshi, it could be any turn. It could be any technique. It's not necessarily Tai-otoshi. Any technique, and you want to feel like you're really strong, in a really strong position. Because if you've got one leg kind of cocked up with no weight on it, one foot with no weight on it, it's going to be really hard, unless you're doing like an uchimata or a harai-goshi. It's going to be really hard to throw somebody if you've not got much balance yourself and much strength. That's not looking bad now. Good stuff. Really think about your shizantai. I see Jamie there. Hi, Jamie. I can see George there. George Roberts, how's it going? Good to see you. That's nice. Nice. Look at that, Jay Neeson there. Yeah, good to see you. Nice. That's easy stuff, isn't it? Oh my God, let's have a look. I'm doing all right. Looking at my timing. Well, that's nice. Ed Burney's going for it. I think it is Ed. Ed, is it you on Ed Burney? It is you, isn't it? Okay, Matti. All right. Okay, so from there, once you get more comfortable, as I just saw Ed there doing it, try and see if you can start to make things flow a little bit more. So as you get a bit more competent, just make it a natural step and get that natural spin so that you're not actually going 1, 2, 3 and being robotic. So it's not like shizantai, pull, 2, 3. It's much more like you're there already and you're turning. You're there and you're turning. You're there and you're turning. And every time when you spin, you should feel like you could throw the partner. Okay? All the time. Let's see a bit of flow now. Let's go. You're about 20 turn-ins. Go on, Isaac, a bit faster now. Isaac will keep going if you're not so sure. So almost make your Shizantai your first step. This is only to warm up. It's not my main coaching point. I've got things a bit more interesting planned for you, hopefully. I want people to go away with something different tonight, you see, something you can actually reflect on and actually develop yourself. So this is just the key start point. Okay, Matti, good stuff. Okay, so Isaac, if you can stand there. Yeah. Right. So one of the issues we do in judo, especially when we're doing judo at home in our living rooms and things, is that idea of how realistic something is. So Tai-otoshi is a really good example of that. I like doing Tai-otoshi, it is my main throw. But you'll not see me generally, if I'm doing Tai-otoshi, I'm not going to do the step here and the spin in. I never travel in. The problem being is, most people, if I try and throw eyes at the Tai-otoshi, what's going to happen is I'm going to turn in and here's a step away. And that's a common problem, isn't it? That by the time you've turned your back on somebody, they've already gone, okay? So what we're going to work on today is to see whether, instead of doing this turn here, whether I can actually, if I start to travel, whether I can take the hip. So in this case, this is my right hip, because I'm right-handed, I'm going to travel left. I'll see that in a minute. Whether I can actually lift and position the Tai-otoshi across my partner. So for example, I can't throw Isaac, so too many stitches in his head. But what I'm looking for, you see, is as Isaac steps that way, I'm looking for people to turn in here. So as Isaac steps, I'm going to take the weight there, and that's when I'm going to turn in. So I switch the hips, okay? So what we're doing is I'm going to, well, I can do it with 1, 2, 3, can't I? So I'm going to travel, so I'm going to step 1, 2, and then when I make the decision to throw, Isaac keeps stepping, and the hip comes across, okay? So all it's about is, rather than turning in this way, okay, what I'm going to do is I'm going to step, moving, so I'll do 3 steps. It would normally be on 1 step, but obviously 1, 2, and then as you decide you're going to throw, lifting the chasing leg, so in this case it's my right leg, putting the hip across the front and diving in front, back into the Tai-otoshi position. So the movement to practice is literally, if I'm going now, I'm going to do it left-handed now. So this is my right side, and I'm traveling towards the right. So I step, and then as I make the decision that I'm going to go for the Tai-otoshi and I need to close space, I'm going to lift the left leg up, comes across the hip and turns. It allows me to change direction. So it's almost like a hip twist. So instead of trying to, here Isaac, I'll show you the benefit. So if I was just traveling this way, Judo, he's traveling this way, and I try and do a Tai-otoshi traditionally, I'm just going to miss him. I'm just going to continually miss him all the time. He's just going to keep getting off. Whereas if he starts traveling this way, he'll do 2, 3 steps. So I go 1, 2, here it comes there, I've lifted the weight there. So I'm able to catch him up, okay? So it's very useful. And that is how I do my Tai-otoshi generally. All I'm looking for is my partner to step on. And as they step on, I clear a bit of space, lift the leg, and then hip in front. And everyone says it's Tai-otoshi. I'm not so sure, I just think I'm sticking the leg in front. We call it stab Tai or stab Tai-otoshi, because I'm stabbing the leg. Okay, so this is what you're going to do. 2 steps, 1, 2, lift the chasing leg. So if I'm traveling left, chasing leg is my right leg. Lift it up, put it in front, ready for your Tai-otoshi, or your forward technique. Turn back round, 2 steps, 1, 2, lift the chasing leg. This time it's my left leg, across the front, there. Switch the hips, okay? So I'll do it a few times. 1, 2, lift. There's my positioning. 1, 2, lift, and in front, okay? I'll watch you. Isaac, you keep demoing it. Let's see how you do. So it's 1, 2, lift and across. 1, 2, and cut your partner off. 1, 2, and cut them off. 1, 2, cut them off. 1, 2, cut them off. It's good. Yeah, you're getting the idea. 1, 2, and cut them off. Obviously, I'm saying Tai-otoshi, but it's really, it could be a Sai-otoshi, it could be any forward technique, really. It might be a Sai-nage. But it's that idea of using a switch of the hips to close that distance very quickly. You look like you're getting it. Not looking bad. 1, 2, and cut them off. Okay, Matti, right, it's looking good. So I'm now going to give you something else to think about. We do a lot of work at our club on tempo. If I move with my opponent at the same speed, my opponent will often adjust their speed to match my speed. And the problem with that is it means every time I turn in on them, they can just get off because they're already at the same speed as me, okay? So what we can do is, when we start to travel with our partners, we imagine that that is a part of a contest where your partner isn't aware you're going to attack them. So if I'm going for my stab Tai-otoshi, I might be moving quite innocently in this direction. And my opponent doesn't think anything's coming because it's very, I'm not doing anything with the arms to indicate I'm going to be throwing. I'm just beginning to travel and get my opponent to start traveling. But when I actually make the attack, so it's 1, 2, for example, the actual attack though is quite explosive. So the aim is, can you change your tempo, which will surprise your partner? Because obviously, if I go 1 and 2 and in, you're going to see that because they're already moving at speed with me. But if it's just nice and flowing, 1, 2, and then they start to come on and boom, attack. So can you change the tempo? It's slow, slow, fast. Slow, slow, fast. So it's all about that explosiveness. So if I'm left-handed, it's nice and gentle, and then bang, you've gone. There's that sudden shock of, oh, I'm going, boom, you've gone. So try and change your tempo now. So go slow, slow, bang, and explode. So slow, slow, boom, and you're in. Let's go. Isaac will try and do it as well. He's very slow, is Isaac. So if you're quite slow, then it needs to be even slower. So it's slow, slow, so slowly, slowly, and fast. And it's that change in tempo that is more likely to mean the successful attempt. Because if you're loading up with speed all the time, your partner will raise their speed to match your speed. So have them moving slowly and then boom, explode with a really fast turn. It's looking all right. It's quite hard to see. I can see there. I can see you, Ed. There, it's quite high, quite bouncy. The only problem with that, though, Ed, is that if you bounce, they'll bounce with you. Whereas if it's a little bit slower, imagine, Matti, just think about this, guys. You're 4 minutes into a contest, 5 minutes, you're Isaac. 5 minutes into golden score. Everything's gone slow. Everyone's slowed down. So I'm not on my toes quite the same. And it's just that movement, and maybe he just starts to walk. There. Boom, there it is. Yeah? So just as he starts to go, boom, there it is. So it's all about surprise, that element of surprise, something I was always rubbish at as a player when I was younger. But as a coach, I've come to realize it's massively important. If they know what you're going to do, it's very unlikely to work. If they're not expecting the technique because you're able to mask it, to hide it, it's going to be like playing cards. You don't want to tell people, you don't want to tell your partner what you're doing. Makes a massive difference. Okay, so that's your first thing to think about. Think about if you're going to do a Tai-otoshi, that sometimes you turn your back. Sometimes the quickest way to turn your back is not to turn towards your partner. We call that at the club chaser. Anything where you're chasing, you're moving towards your partner. Sometimes if your partner's traveling away from you, what you're going to want to do is move the hip and try and get in front of it. Okay, that's first thing. Okay, question for you, but you don't have to answer it right now, of course, is if you're doing judo in a competition, hard randori or something, and you get a free shot. You get a free shot to throw somebody. Question is, which throw would you do? You need to all be able to answer that. You have to have a very clear vision. You can do any throw you want. Some of you will instantly know. You'll go, right, I'd do this throw. This is the throw I do. This is the throw I do. Okay? So once you know what throw you want to do, you can work back from that into your kumikata. Okay? And think about, well, with my gripping, if that's a throw I'm going to do, where do I want to grip? And where do I want my partners to be moving? Okay, so I'm going to give you a few scenarios today. I'm going to give you some things that you might want to try. Okay, they're a little bit different. Okay, things I've seen abroad and things that we've been working at the club. Okay, you get Isaac? I think the first one I'm going to do is the preparation for Sumi-gaeshi. Okay, Sumi-gaeshi, if anyone doesn't know, it's a corner throw. Do you want to do it very gently on me without hurting yourself? Yeah. Isaac will do it gently on me without hurting himself. He's got like 60 stitches in his head though. So just do it off the, that's it. So Sumi-gaeshi is that. Okay. And go. Oh. Okay. So that's Sumi-gaeshi in case you don't know what it is. So I'm going to work on prep for Sumi-gaeshi. Okay. So I'm a right-handed player and I like to grab collar sleeve. Okay. If you're a left-handed player, you'd probably like to grab the collar sleeve on the other side. Everyone happy with that? Gives a thumbs up. People happy with that? That's generally the rule. Yeah? Collar sleeve? Okay. So I'm going to give you a potential for Sumi-gaeshi, a little bit of a different way of doing it. And then I'll show you some footwork that you can practice to practice that Sumi-gaeshi. Okay? Dead easy. I'm a right-handed player and I want to surprise my partner. One of the problems I have is that I'm right-handed and everything is like always kind of in this direction. I'm trying to throw Isaac and he's like, well, I know what he's doing. He's always trying to throw me in this direction. Yeah, and it becomes really predictable. And some of you guys might be like this, where you've got a few good techniques, but you become really predictable. And someone's watching you in a tournament and the other coaches are watching you and they think, you know what? All you have to do to beat that person is get off that throw because it's the only throw they do. So sometimes it's good to be able to change things up a bit. And I'm hoping this is what you'll be able to do with this. So I'm right-handed, and all I do is, at some point, when I decide to change things up, is I'm going to change from right-handed here, I'm going to go into an eri grip, okay? I'm going to show you in a minute how to do this without a partner and things and so on to practice it, okay? But there's a movement we're going to practice, and this is the movement. So from here, what I'm going to do is this hand's going to release, and it's one single step over, there, and from there, I can do a Sumi-gaeshi, okay? So this is what you have to practice. Are you ready? Right-handed. I'll do it right-handed, I'll do it left-handed. Right-handed. You decide, I'm going to go for the Sumi-gaeshi. Release the hand, eri side. So I've got an eri grip, so I've got collar and sleeve. From there, back leg, left hand, left arm, over the top. Okay, watch again. Right-handed grip. Change the collar. So let go and take the collar you wouldn't normally grip. Okay, so I've got the collar I wouldn't normally grip. I've still got my right leg forward because I'm right-handed. Left leg's going to come in. Right leg's left arm's going to come up and over. From there, feet together, Sumi-gaeshi. Okay, watch left-handed. I'll do it a few times, and you guys start joining in as soon as you get the idea of what I'm doing. You can start practicing. So left-handed player, got my left-handed grip. I decide, you know what, I'm going to go for that Sumi-gaeshi. I want to change things up. So what I do, I release the normal collar, grab the eri collar, grab the opposite ear, Isaac, just to help people visualize. Okay, so left-handed. Okay, I decide I'm going to change things up. Change the collar, okay? So I'm here. Okay, opposite collar. What I'm going to do, right leg's at the back, right hand, right leg, over the top. From there, I can do my Sumi-gaeshi in and do my Sumi-gaeshi. So the actual drill is this. Opposite collar to the one you'd normally grip. There. The leg that's at the back goes with the arm. So this is left leg, left arm. Boom, over the top. From there, feet come together. throw them over your left shoulder. Whoop. There. So that's the right-handed version. I'll do it again if you work it in a minute. Right-handed version. Collar you will normally grip, so the airy collar. Left leg, left hand. Boom, over the top. Now you're ready to do Sumi-gaeshi. Feet together, over the left shoulder, kick, that's your Sumi-gaeshi. Okay, how effective is it? My players that have been working on this, once they're over, it's finished. You're done. Okay, so left-handed player. Left-handed player. So I've got my left-handed grip here. Hook, airy collar. So I've got the wrong collar. Think of it as wrong collar. Okay, now I've got my right leg back. Got my right hand and right leg back. Over the top, boom. From there, feet together, right shoulder. Kick, that's your Sumi-gaeshi. Okay? Okay, you all right, Isaac? It is a bit tricky, isn't it? But once you start breaking it down, you'll get this. The main thing is this. Not many people do Sumi-gaeshi. You go to France, they all do Sumi-gaeshi. Really popular. Internationally, Sumi-gaeshi is really effective. You don't see it that much at British level. You don't see it a lot within our country. It's not that trendy, so you might be able to catch somebody out with it. Let's simplify it as best we can. I'll be left-handed, okay? I'll go that side. I'll be left-handed. Just one hand. Opposite collar. I'm not even going to grip here. I mean, I could grip here, couldn't I? But I'm just going to grip here. So opposite collar. In other words, if I'm left-handed, normally I would grip this collar. Yeah? So I grip this collar. So you just visualize that. Okay? I've got my left foot forward already because I'm left-handed. So my right foot's at the back and my right arm's further back. Okay? And then all I'm doing is I'm coming up and in. So it's that. From there, you will definitely throw your partner. Well, hopefully. Okay, let's look as a right-hander. Okay, so as a right-handed player, normally I'd grip here. That would be the collar I'd normally take. But I'm going here. Okay, we've worked on stuff where we're actually feeding it as well. We're actually moving people around on that collar and switching it. But let's just keep it simple. Okay, opposite collar. You know which leg to drive over the top because it's the one at the back. So if I'm right-handed, I've got my right leg forward, left leg's back. Left leg and left hand work together. So it comes up and over. Good, okay? From there, it's really easy to throw Isaac. I'll throw him really gently. Leg comes in, over the shoulder, and without killing him and knocking his stitches out. Okay? That wasn't too bad, was it? Okay, let's see you guys have a go. Let's see you guys try and do that movement. So it's opposite collar that you'd normally grip and hand and arm over. Let's have a look. Yes. And then visualize it. Go on, I'm just watching a few now. Just as I'm doing it, don't forget that Sumi-gaeshi is corner throw. Quite a lot of you are rolling, doing a backwards roll. Okay, so opposite collar. When I come over as a right-hander, so I was on this collar, I've decided I'm not doing it. So I go on to the airy collar, I go on to the, obviously don't stay on there too long, you get Judo. Okay, when I come up and over here, it changes the angle. Look, there. Now, I want to throw them over my left shoulder. So as I roll from here, the roll is very much over the left shoulder here. Boom. Okay, so I shouldn't be going over straight over my head. A lot of you are doing Sumi-gaeshi, you're sitting down through it. You're doing this, and then you're doing this. Okay, you've got to get the angle. So what you find is, when I'm doing the Sumi-gaeshi, if this comes over, this arm is really pulling them over, stops them getting off the throw. I'll do it left-handed. Okay, so I'm here, opposite collar, over. Opposite collar, over. Opposite collar, over. Okay, in terms of positioning, all right, Isaac. It'd be better recording this almost. So where do I want to be? So I'll be left-handed. So I'm on the opposite collar here. Okay. It's good to be a distance as well. It's good for contest because it's nothing, you know, he's not in throwing range here. So 1 minute, Isaac's thinking, I'm safe. I'm not going to get thrown. I'm miles away. I get one hand on, and within half a second, yeah, he's finished. I've won the contest. As far as I'm concerned, if you work on this technique, you can practically win the contest as soon as you're in. They're not getting off it. You get the position. So the position, I'm here now. As I bring this leg in, yeah, the leg, so my right leg is next to Isaac's right leg. Okay, so it comes right over because I need the space to be able to come in and throw in over my right shoulder. Okay, so as a general rule, it's good for you this. If you're a right-handed player, okay, then it's your left leg and your left hand that are coming up and over. Okay, there. Okay, if you're a left-handed player, okay, then it's your right hand and right leg that are coming over. From there, you don't have to do Sumi-gaeshi. There's all kinds of techniques you can do. You can throw people backwards and all kinds of stuff. So just keep practicing that movement. So you're there, you take the grip, throw, there it is. Okay, so just take the grip. Okay, so now fighting left-handed. That's the opposite grip. Okay. Right, let's see a few. Don't hurt yourselves on your hard floors. Have a go. So, I'm out of time. I'm more or less out of time there. Okay, time.
Time flies when you're having fun. Time flies when you're having fun, John. That's all
it's really hard because there's no feedback, is there? So if any of you are interested in Sumi-gaeshi, I've done a lot of work on this, working with Flam Judo in France. We've done a massive amount of work on Sumi-gaeshi, and I've had a lot of advice of a lot of really high-level players on effectively using it. So later down the line, you can come back to it. When we can come back to clubs, you can come and have a go, and I'll go through it with you. Okay?